Hello guys, and welcome to the moon. My name is Carl, and forgot my lines. My name is Carl, and I am here to bring you another cryptocurrency video. And today we're looking at Bitcoin in my Bitcoin Today series, where I as soon as something happens in Bitcoin, I want to immediately just share my take on what is happening and what I think are potential scenarios going in the short term. So this is very short term analysis, like the next few hours and the next few days. Maybe I will lead into some long-term talk as well, but the whole point with this is just to see what is happening right now. And if we zoom out here for a minute to the 1 day here, we can see that, and I'm on the logarithmic scale, which you can see here, and this is Bitcoin day, and every candle here is 1 day. Alright, so Bitcoin has had a pretty nice pullback here of about 50%, and what I think is kind of possible is that we come down to this mean here that has that did form here. We had 3 points of contact here, and this is the logarithmic, as I said, the log scale, and we did get pretty excited here, and I think this is a sign of a market that is overheated. And well, I said I wasn't going to do long term. This is kind of long term, but hang on here. So I think we were kind of overheated here, and we had a blow off top, and I guess the skeptics and the critics said that, okay, this is a sign that it's a bubble, like the tulip bubble and the .com bubble, and everything is just gonna crash and Bitcoin is over. But I think that what this chart might tell us is that we had a pretty nice run here that was steadily upwards, nothing crazy, but somewhere around here, when the news and the mainstream media started rambling around about the Bitcoin price, and yeah, simply just talking about the price and the price going up, which means people that are greedy, we all are, and but people that are greedy and don't know what the technology is, and they don't know the fundamental value of Bitcoin. They just put their money in to double their lunch money, and they want to see quick profits, and that's the only reason why they joined the train. And these are the people that are selling now. They don't know why they should hold Bitcoin, so they jumped in here and here, and they're selling now because they're scared. But we who know what Bitcoin is going to do with the world, we are still hodling, right? And what I think is that there are too many people who know that Bitcoin is here to stay, so we're not selling. And I think pretty much everyone who bought before, like maybe $2,000, which I think there are a lot of people, they're not selling, so the price cannot get beyond, it cannot dip down here, and that's why I think we're going to see strong support on this line here, and that line corresponds with a price of about, if we would see the price go down in this direction like it is right now, we would see the price go down to maybe somewhere around from 8,000 to 10,000 here, and that would be a deciding point. So if we go down there, then well, that would be pretty bearish, I think. So that we could have a big sell-off, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think we're gonna see nice support here and a bounce back up. And the only question there is, are we going to see the price go exponentially again like we saw here, or are we going to see a more of a steadily upwards trend like we saw here? So all right, but let's go to the thing I was going to talk about, the short term, right? So what we're seeing happening now is Bitcoin having a pretty nice little spike up here. As you can see, let's zoom out a little bit. So the pullback you can see here, and this trend line, this support line, has been gaining a lot. I think this is a pretty strong support line, so I wouldn't expect the price to dip down below here. We could have a fast little dip down like we've had seen twice here, but every time we go below here we bounce right back up. So this is pretty strong support, and so the question is, are we going to see the price do pretty much what it's been doing the last few weeks, or are we set for a new bull trend? Or as some people may think, we go down here to 8,000, which I actually see as a pretty big probability. And down here you can be sure I will be adding to my position. And you should too, I guess. I'm not a financial expert, and I'm not your advisor though, but so I think it doesn't really matter what happens in the next few weeks. We all know that eventually we are going to bounce back up. I mean, it's Bitcoin, right? And this is a revolution in every way. So I try to not think too much short term. I actually added to my position yesterday, even though I do kind of expect us to maybe go down to $8,000, but I have a long-term goal, and that is to acquire more Bitcoin, not like seeing the dollar value increase every day. That's not important for me. So what can we expect in the coming days here then? If we go down here to the 1 hour, and this is the last few days, and we can see that this trend line has been forming here. We have 3 points of contact here, so this seems to be a pretty strong support line. And here we did see some resistance. So in the next few days here, and I would expect Bitcoin to stay in this area, maybe do something like this, but somewhere here I would expect Bitcoin to decide direction, and your guess is as good as mine. I am leaning towards that we might see a drop down here actually, and that we will see Bitcoin go down to, we could see a big fall down to somewhere around here and then start going up again, but as I said, this is pure speculation. But if we do drop down, I think that this support line, which I talked about earlier, is going to come and give us real nice support here. And let's look at the moving averages also, so we can see if they tell us anything. Here we go. So we can see that the 200-day moving average has actually gone over this line, trend line that I put here, and that is kind of what also makes me think that we will dip down here. I think the 200-day moving average is going to line up pretty nicely with this trend line here, and there's going to be like a convergence of support here, convergence of lines. I don't know if that's a thing, but I've seen that happen before, that when lines and different individual independent supports come and meet, that makes it so much stronger, and I usually see a big, like a spike after that, not just like we were supported, but like a nice spike up. So that could be really interesting to watch. So if I am correct on that, I would expect Bitcoin to drop down somewhere around here maybe, and get a nice bounce back, and hopefully up to 20,000 and retest the all-time high, and I think, well, obviously it can only go two ways, above to 20,000 or below, but I don't think we're going to stay at that I think in that case we could see because that would form a sort of a triangle shape here. But I will get back to you on this price analysis when the time comes. And that was Bitcoin. Let me just take a look at NEO. And NEO has had a solid run the last 2 days now. So this is NEO compared to Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin can sustain its upward or like reverse its downward trend and sustain a upwards trend, then I am extremely bullish on NEO, like very bullish on NEO. Just look at this run up, and as soon the days leading up to this pullback, we had a fantastic increase in price. And do you know what happened here? The only thing that happened here, it was nothing bad for NEO that made it pull back. It was simply Bitcoin falling like a rock. And we all know how Bitcoin's price affects every price. So I think that if Bitcoin can show some type of if Bitcoin can show us strength, then I would expect NEO to blast upwards, and well, in that case we could test the previous all-time high. We did see resistance here at the previous all-time high. Let's see here. So this is the price target I'm looking, the all-time high, and if we blast through there, then, well, let's say you should buy NEO now in that case, because it's gonna be a lot more expensive in the future. I did make a video about NEO going to $300 and some predictions about Bitcoin. I'll leave the card up there so you can watch that. And that's all for today, guys. This was my video, Bitcoin today, and I will upload more of these, so please subscribe so you don't miss my price analyses. And this is not deeply technical. This is just very simple technical analysis, just to get your mind going. I'll just give you bits and pieces, and you can do whatever you want with it. All right. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.